Many people believe that keeping a large balance in their checking account is smart. It's safe, accessible, and gives a sense of control. But what if I told you that leaving over 3,000 sitting idle could actually be costing you more than you realize? Between inflation quietly eroding your money, missed investment opportunities, and the opportunity cost of letting your cash sit stagnant, what feels safe may actually be holding you back from building real wealth. Today, we're going to explore why holding too much in checking could be a mistake, or in some cases, why it might make sense, so you can make smarter, more strategic decisions with your money and grow your financial future. The hidden cost of idle cash. At first glance, keeping cash in your checking account feels safe and sensible. After all, it's there when you need it, covering bills, groceries, emergencies, and everyday expenses. But what many people fail to realize is that idle cash has a hidden cost, one that quietly erodes your wealth over time. Even amounts as small as 3,000 sitting in a checking account can have a surprising negative impact on your long-term financial growth. The first factor to understand is inflation. Inflation is the silent thief of purchasing power. Each year, prices rise, sometimes slowly, sometimes sharply, and the money sitting in your checking account doesn't grow to keep up. For example, if inflation averages just 3% per year, that 3,000 you keep idle loses about 90 in real value annually. Over time, this loss compounds, meaning the money you think is safe is slowly losing its ability to buy the same goods and services. It's not dramatic day to day, but over years, it becomes significant. Then there's the opportunity cost. Money sitting idle isn't just losing value, it's missing the chance to work for you. Even conservative investments like high-yield savings accounts, certificates of deposit, or low-risk bonds can earn more than a traditional checking account. More aggressive investment options, such as stocks or index funds, can deliver even higher returns over time. The key point is this: cash in checking earns almost nothing. Every day that money sits idle is a day it could be compounding, generating interest, dividends, or growth. Many people underestimate the long-term impact. Let's say you keep 3,000 in checking for 10 years, earning essentially 2% interest, while a conservative investment earns just 5% annually. At the end of that period, your 3,000 would have grown to nearly 4,900 in the investment scenario, almost 2,000 more than leaving it idle. That's nearly double your money, simply by putting it to work rather than leaving it stagnant. And remember, that's a conservative estimate. The difference grows exponentially with higher balances or longer time frames. Another hidden cost is psychological complacency. When money sits in checking, it feels safe and available, which is comforting, but this can discourage active financial planning. People often overestimate how much they truly need readily available and may hesitate to allocate funds into growth opportunities. This false security creates a barrier to wealth accumulation, subtly reinforcing financial stagnation instead of growth. This isn't to say that all cash in checking is bad. You need liquidity for emergencies, day-to-day expenses, and peace of mind. But most people overestimate the amount required, leaving far too much idle and missing opportunities for strategic growth. Understanding the hidden cost of idle cash is the first step toward better money management. Relocating what isn't needed immediately into higher-yielding vehicles while keeping enough for safety and convenience. The takeaway is simple but powerful. Money sitting idle in checking doesn't just sit. It loses value, misses opportunities, and subtly hinders long-term financial growth. Even a balance that seems reasonable, like $3,000, can quietly cost you thousands over time. Recognizing this hidden cost is the first step toward making smarter, more intentional decisions about where your money lives and how it works for you. At the end of the day, financial freedom comes not from hoarding cash, but from strategically using it. Knowing the hidden cost of idle cash allows you to strike the balance between safety, liquidity, and growth, ensuring your money isn't just sitting there, but working and actively toward a more prosperous future. Opportunity cost and wealth growth. Many people don't realize that leaving money in a checking account isn't just neutral. It comes with a hidden cost known as opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative you give up when you make a financial decision. In the case of keeping money idle in checking, 48. The opportunity cost is the wealth your money could have generated if it were working for you instead. Even a seemingly modest balance of $3,000 can quietly cost you thousands over time simply because it's not growing. Let's break this down. Checking accounts are convenient and safe, but they typically earn next to nothing in interest, often fractions of a percent. Meanwhile, investments like stocks, index funds, bonds, or even high yield savings accounts can earn anywhere from 3% to 10% annually, depending on your risk tolerance and time frame. That difference might not seem huge at first, but thanks to the power of compounding, even small returns can grow exponentially over time. Consider a simple example. 3,000 sitting idle in checking earns 0% interest. After 10 years, it's still $3,000. Now, imagine that same 3,000 invested in a conservative portfolio that earns 5% annually. Over 10 years, that money grows to approximately 4,080. Nearly 2,000 in additional wealth simply by putting your money to work. That's the cost of leaving it idle. Money you could have had, lost simply because it was sitting still. The effect becomes even more dramatic over longer periods or with higher balances. A retiree with 20,000 or 50,000 sitting idle in checking could be missing out on tens of thousands of dollars in potential growth. This is why opportunity cost is not just a theory. It is a real, tangible impact on your long-term financial security and wealth accumulation. Many people justify keeping large sums in checking for safety, believing that having cash on hand is the wisest move. While liquidity and emergency funds are important, most people overestimate the amount they truly need readily accessible. A smart approach is to keep enough to cover 103 months of expenses in checking and an additional emergency buffer in a savings account, while allocating the rest to growth-oriented investments. This allows your money to work harder without compromising safety or peace of mind. Another critical aspect of opportunity cost is the psychological impact. Cash sitting in checking creates a false sense of security. It feels safe and accessible, but in reality, it's not contributing to your long-term goals. That false comfort can encourage financial complacency. People stop actively managing or investing their money, which slows wealth accumulation and limits future opportunities. By understanding opportunity cost, you are forced to confront the trade-offs between comfort today and wealth growth tomorrow. Opportunity cost also teaches a valuable lesson about financial efficiency. Every dollar you keep idle is a dollar that isn't compounding, generating dividends, or contributing to future financial freedom. Conversely, reallocating that money into investments, even moderately aggressive ones, allows you to harness the full potential of your resources. Over time, this disciplined approach can build significant wealth, expand options, and give you greater control over your lifestyle. The takeaway is clear. Keeping large amounts of money idle in checking is more than a missed opportunity. It's actively costing you wealth. By recognizing the opportunity cost and strategically reallocating funds, you can turn stagnant cash into a wealth-building tool. 8. Smart money management isn't just about saving, it's about making your money work as hard as you do. At the end of the day, the difference between financial stagnation and growth often comes down to understanding opportunity cost. Every dollar left idle is a dollar that could have been multiplying, contributing to long-term wealth and supporting a more secure and prosperous future. Recognizing this and acting on it is the first step toward financial empowerment and true wealth growth. Balancing liquidity and security, one of the biggest mistakes people make with their money is failing to strike the right balance between liquidity and security. On the surface, it seems simple: keep money in checking for emergencies and spend the rest as needed. But in reality, 8. Most people either overestimate the amount they need in liquid accounts or leave too much sitting idle, sacrificing potential growth. Understanding how to balance liquidity and security is a critical step toward building both financial stability and long-term wealth. Liquidity is essential because life is unpredictable. Emergencies happen, car repairs, medical bills, sudden home expenses, and having cash available immediately can prevent stress and financial strain. But many people mistakenly believe that more is better when it comes to liquidity. They keep thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, in checking or low-interest savings accounts, thinking that access equates to security. While access is important, there is a point of diminishing returns. Beyond a few months of living expenses, extra idle cash doesn't increase safety, it simply sits there, failing to grow. Security, on the other hand, is about more than just access to cash. It's about financial stability and long-term protection. Security comes from having a well-structured financial plan that ensures you can cover emergencies, maintain your lifestyle, and grow wealth simultaneously. This means allocating funds strategically enough in checking for daily use, an emergency fund in a slightly higher yield savings account, and the remainder invested in growth-oriented vehicles. When done correctly, this balance provides both peace of mind and financial efficiency. Many retirees or even working professionals struggle because they confuse liquidity with security. Just because money is immediately available doesn't mean it's providing true security. In fact, leaving too much idle in checking can undermine security by limiting potential growth. Inflation quietly erodes the value of idle cash, and missed investment opportunities mean your wealth isn't building over time. True financial security comes from a combination of liquidity for emergencies and strategic investments that grow over the long term. Finding the right balance also depends on individual circumstances. For example, someone with stable income, low living expenses, and minimal debt may need less in checking or savings than someone with unpredictable expenses or health concerns. A practical approach is to calculate 1-3 months of living expenses for immediate access in checking and a larger buffer in savings for true emergencies, while investing the remainder to generate growth. This creates a layered safety net that protects both short-term needs and long-term financial goals. Another key aspect of balancing liquidity and security is flexibility. Life is rarely predictable, and financial plans need to adapt. Having money spread across accounts, checking, savings, and investments ensures that you are prepared for unexpected situations without sacrificing long-term growth. For instance, if an emergency arises, you don't need to sell investments at a loss because sufficient cash is readily available. This flexibility transforms financial planning from a source of stress into a tool for empowerment and control. Finally, psychological comfort plays a significant role. Many people keep excess cash in checking because it feels safe, but that sense of security is often illusory. Real confidence comes from knowing that your money is working efficiently, that your emergency needs are covered, and that your wealth is growing simultaneously. Striking the right balance between liquidity and security allows you to relax, knowing you can handle immediate challenges while building long-term financial strength. The takeaway is simple: liquidity without strategy is wasted potential, and security without growth is incomplete. By understanding your true cash needs, maintaining an emergency buffer, and investing the remainder, you can achieve a balance that protects your finances, maximizes growth, and gives you true peace of mind. At the end of the day, balancing liquidity and security isn't just about money, it's about freedom, control, and long-term prosperity. When done correctly, it allows you to enjoy life, handle emergencies confidently, and let your money work as hard as you do, creating both stability and growth simultaneously. Psychological comfort vs. financial strategy money is not just numbers, it's emotion. One of the biggest reasons people keep excessive amounts in checking accounts isn't rational, it's psychological. The sense of security from seeing a large cash balance can be comforting. It feels safe, tangible, and instantly accessible. 8. But what if that comfort is costing you more than it's giving you? Understanding the tension between psychological comfort and financial strategy is crucial for building real wealth and long-term security. First, let's acknowledge why psychological comfort exists. Humans are wired to fear uncertainty, especially when it comes to money. Seeing a large balance in checking gives a sense of control, a reassurance that no matter what happens, you'll be able to cover expenses. For many, this emotional security outweighs rational financial planning. It's easy to think, I'd rather have the cash in front of me than risk it in investments. But this mindset comes at a cost. Opportunity cost, lost growth, and the quiet erosion of wealth through inflation. True financial strategy, on the other hand, prioritizes growth, efficiency, and long-term planning over immediate emotional satisfaction. Money left idle may feel safe, but it is inactive. It's not earning interest, dividends, or compounding to build wealth. Every dollar sitting stagnant is a dollar that could have been generating returns, supporting your lifestyle, or providing financial freedom. The challenge is bridging the gap between emotional comfort and practical strategy. This is where awareness and education become powerful tools. When people understand that keeping too much in checking doesn't increase real security and may actually hinder future stability, they can begin to shift their mindset. Psychological comfort is important, but it should be balanced with intentional planning. For instance, keeping enough cash for emergencies provides emotional reassurance, while strategically investing the rest maximizes growth without unnecessary risk. This balance allows you to feel safe while also working toward wealth accumulation. Another critical point is that unchecked psychological comfort can foster financial complacency. People who cling to large cash balances often delay important financial decisions, avoiding investments or strategic allocation because it feels risky. Over time, this habit can slow wealth growth, reduce options, and make it harder to achieve long-term goals like early retirement, home ownership, or travel. In contrast, aligning financial strategy with emotional needs creates a proactive mindset, empowering you to make smart decisions confidently. The interaction between comfort and strategy is also personal. Everyone's risk tolerance, lifestyle, and responsibilities are different. 8. Some may require slightly higher liquidity for peace of mind. Others may be comfortable with a leaner checking balance if they know the rest is invested wisely. The key is intentional allocation, consciously deciding how much to keep for comfort and how much to put to work for growth. This turns fear-based decision-making into rational, goal-oriented action. Finally, bridging psychological comfort and strategy unlocks financial freedom. When your money is strategically allocated, you no longer feel chained to your checking account. You gain confidence that emergencies are covered, that wealth is growing, and that your financial future is secure. Emotional comfort and financial strategy are no longer opposing forces. They work together to create both peace of mind and long-term prosperity. The takeaway is clear. Keeping money idle for emotional comfort may feel safe, but unchecked, it limits wealth, growth, and opportunity. By understanding the psychology behind money and implementing a strategic approach, you can balance emotional reassurance with effective financial planning, turning idle cash into a tool for growth, security, and freedom. At the end of the day, financial empowerment comes from aligning your emotions with your strategy. Psychological comfort is important, but it should never overshadow smart money management. When done correctly, you can feel secure and grow your wealth, enjoying both peace of mind today and financial freedom tomorrow.